All right, I just wanted to take the time out to thank our new sponsors, We Hate Clubs. We Hate Clubs is a brand which was developed with the idea that people should live outside of their comfortable spaces, leaning in the music, art, photography, parties, and fashion. We Hate Clubs is built to function as something greater than oneself. Make sure to follow We Hate Clubs on Instagram if you're in the Chicagoland area. Now back to the show. All right, guys, welcome back to the Define Podcast. My boy JJ's back. How you doing, JJ?
What up?
Let's go.
Yes,
I had to find him underneath a cave somewhere, so he's back. He's back. Today, we have a special guest making his Define Podcast debut. Our brother John Marquez. What's up, brother? How are you?
God's warrior, yes, sir.
God's
Jesus
warrior,
team, we
777. Let's go.
Yes, sir. We here. Man, it's a blessing to be here. Blessing to share time with you, commute with both of you. You know, y'all been part of my journey as well, so it's a blessing to catch up with y'all.
I appreciate that.
Sure.
Thank you for
Sir.
coming, man. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to pull up. You know, it means a lot to us.
My
So I
pleasure.
know everybody's
Come on.
busy, got things going on, so I appreciate that.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it. Time is
Likewise,
valuable.
likewise.
So I
And
appreciate
it's Sunday,
it.
so
And it's Sunday, man. I know it's a special
Did
day
you go
for
to
you,
church?
John. Sunday,
Yes.
you got church.
It's a good day for
Got
the
the family.
family.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Mainly the family. You know, church is every day.
Yeah. That's true.
Baptism is every day. In and out the gym.
Let's
Right.
go. The gym. We're gonna get into the gym topics. Let's go. And I will say, John is the first guest to bring snacks. He brought us fruit, beautiful fruit display.
You gotta take care of the people.
Next guest, take notice, man, 'cause we like stuff. It's nice. I
I
appreciate
like
that.
snacks.
All them snacks.
Pleasure and honor. Here to serve, man.
Let's go. And so I wanted to get into this right off the bat about martial arts. John is a professional fighter, very skilled. I think he's honestly one of the most underrated fighters in Southern Florida, because I think, Mary, you have so many fights. You have so much experience, so much charisma when you're in there too. And when you're in the gym, everyone sees you sparring. You're always pushing people. You're always trying to take time out of your practice to help someone get better. And I feel like you don't really get that recognition long term. You know what I mean? Like, your last fight wasn't too long ago, and you did, like, that was nasty. It was a nasty KO against our friend, though. But it's all right. But Dean Barry's also a really good,
brother.
talented fighter. He's really good. But man, I was surprised on how that game plan formatted for you. And I just wanted to know, how did you get started in martial arts, and like, how did your journey get to this point, and where do you see yourself going in the future?
Thank you, brother. First and
Yeah.
foremost, all glory to God. You know, without him, I wouldn't be here. Without him, I wouldn't have a vision. Without him, I wouldn't have a purpose. You know, so I was called to this. You know, it wasn't something I chose.
Okay.
You know, I had this calling by around when I was 16. For some reason, I just wanted to be a boxer out of nowhere.
Okay.
You know, I grew up in a household where, of course, you know, nothing was perfect. So that pushed me to develop a side of me that I never knew that I could embrace by overcoming fears. You know, that's how it started at first. So I saw what it brought. It brought confidence, and it gave me a sense of identity in school and
okay.
whatnot. You know, people looked at me like a fighter.
Okay.
In a sense,
okay,
they're like,
okay.
"Oh, that's the kid that knows
Don't
how
fuck
to
with
fight."
John.
You know what I mean? And that was my first, like, okay, you know, I want to keep this identity to keep me safe. So it was in a sense, it was
okay,
a
I see.
shell for me in high school.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people could be intimidated by me. I didn't have to fight too much. I didn't have to, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that was the case with that.
Were you insecure a little bit, or were you like kind of like getting bullied? Why? What?
Yes, I was getting bullied. You know, I came from Dominican Republic. You know, I come from a different lifestyle.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like where'd you grow up? Like, where'd you come from?
Yeah, brother. I was from 4 years old. I grew up here. I was born over here in Coral Gable Hospital.
Okay.
Lived in Miami. Was raised in Miami till 4. Then my dad had another marriage over there in Dominican Republic, so we happened to go over there with my little sister. Was being born as well, Blanca, and me and Monique, my bigger sister. So he transferred us over there and whatnot. So we ended up getting our lives built over there. You know, my dad had all the funds to retire. You know, God ended up blessing my dad with his $1 million breakthrough, if you will.
Okay.
You know, so that came along with a lot of sacrifices. You know, speaking to my dad's been through a lot. He's been in jail. You know, he's been in trouble, in and out. You know, but God always had that mantle of grace upon him. You know, where nothing happened to him because he didn't have a malicious heart. You know, I realized that.
I see.
You know, he was foolish on his decisions, you know, because I had to experience it growing up as a young man. You make foolish decisions.
Yeah, of course.
You know, not necessarily because you have a bad heart.
Right.
You know, there's a difference.
We're just young.
You know, yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
ignorant
You know,
almost, yeah.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Naive.
Yeah, man. So,
Mhm.
yeah, going over there, you know, we grew up in a luxury life. You know, everything was a blessing to me. You know, in my eyes, you know, everybody had a different experience. You know,
Yeah.
within me and my sisters. You
Mhm.
know, I realized that growing up because I'm like, girl, you that traumatized? Like, I had a great time
Yeah,
growing
I
up,
was
and
chilling.
she was like, oh, good job, all this. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Then I had to understand, okay, we all had different experiences,
Mhm.
but for me, was an amazing blessing. You know, just getting to know a lifestyle that I guess that I didn't know that was preparing me for the lifestyle that God had for me
Okay.
as a man.
Okay.
You know, dealing with the president, that's what you see in my Instagram. Not a lot of people recognize that. I got like 46 likes, and I don't care about the likes. But I'm just saying people don't know where the promise come from. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm showing that with a reason, with a
Mhm.
purpose, you know? And
That's cool.
and you see a lot of people like how it looks like, you know, knocking people out, hurting people, but it's not to me. It's none about that. You know, it's about purpose. It's about what God has given me and about using that to continue to transform lives and touch lives along the way. You know, that's the main goal. That's the main mission. You know, and I had to realize I had to necessarily learn how to stay focused on that goal. You
Mhm.
know, it doesn't matter if the people along my side are not with that. You know, he will send along the way those people that are in the same accord with me along the way, you know.
Mhm.
And some people are for certain seasons.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
another thing that helped me, you know, those are part of the maturity season. I'm 30 years old already, brother. I've been in this game for about 17 years.
Okay.
You know, going back to how I started this,
Mhm.
Right.
you know, right?
So at what point did you move over to the States, and then you were 14, and then you started, and then you wanted to you 16, you said. And then you
Yes,
started,
14 I moved here.
right, and then
Mm.
and then at 16 you said you wanted to all of a sudden be a boxer.
Yes, and I explained to y'all because of the shell and whatnot. Okay,
Yeah.
so we ended up outgrowing that stage of being a young man and okay, like I want this out of life. I once in my life as a young man made a decision. I want to do this for my life.
Right.
So that
right,
felt
right.
great. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Got some
I know
purpose.
all of you as young men felt that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, so okay, I was like, all right, so we're gonna do that. I remember drinking my first raw egg and having that
Oh.
stomach ache all day because I wanted to be like Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I used to look at movies, you know,
I
and
don't think I ever did that.
you realize life ain't a movie. It could be like a movie. It's good. It could be a beautiful and a blessing, and it could
Yeah.
be so many things. But it's not only roses and daisies
Yeah,
along the way.
ain't that the
You know,
truth?
you learn how to embrace it all
Yeah.
as you grow older. You know, and you let go of those fantasies and those expectations that you have as growing up. You know what reality is, and learning how to have a grip on what reality is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and being okay with that and allowing the fire to refine you.
Okay.
So back to going to that. All right, so I encountered the Lord. You know, the testimonies for another time, but I'll give you the little pieces and bits.
Okay.
So encountered the Lord at 19 years old. That's when he gave me a purpose behind what I do.
Mhm.
Along the way, I figured I transitioned from boxing to MMA because I had a good friend of mine. Shout out to Devin. You know, that's my brother, Devin Knox. You know, I still train him to this day.
Okay.
He just started getting back into the fight game with past 2 years. He's been doing great, you know. We've been collecting wins. Of course, we collect the last loss
Yeah. it
against my
happens.
boy Landon Quinones
Oh.
and Jimmy. You know, shout out to them as well.
Hey,
My
it's all
brothers,
right.
you know, I love them. It was good that we were able to do that as brothers and sharpen one another. You know, the Bible says iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
Oh,
So-
that was the dude who fought Jimmy.
Yeah. That's my
Black
brother,
Box.
man.
Oh,
He was
Jimmy's
the
last
one that
fight?
introduced me to MMA
Oh,
in high school.
wow.
Jimmy's last fight.
Yeah.
That
His
He used to
kickboxing fight.
guy?
Yeah.
last kickboxing
Oh.
fight.
Because the dude pulled out, so he had the last minute. So
Yes,
your guy,
and my boy jumped in.
That's
Landon
what's
fought
up.
him too.
Landon, no.
Oh.
He just got in the fight game within the last 2 years.
Oh.
Landon's been in the game.
he meant like
already.
guys in his corner, right?
Oh.
Yeah, in his corner.
Okay. I was about to say how that happened. But so you boxed from 16 to 19, and then you transitioned to
I
MMA.
boxed myself. I didn't go to no boxing
Oh,
school.
okay,
I
okay,
just
okay.
had I just had the belief
Okay.
Right.
Oh,
that I
okay.
was a boxer.
Oh.
And I'll go slap box guys in high school.
And up in the bathroom.
And let's
You
go
was
in the
slap
hallway.
boxing?
My brother Devin has a video of it. He just posted it the
In
other
the
day.
hallway.
In the hallway, and he was
Thugging.
one of them. We would slap box, pop, 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 and I used to beat
Oh.
guys, and I didn't understand how
Yeah.
because I was just a soft
You
rich
just
boy.
believed it. You just
You know, I
believed
just
it.
believed it. You know, and I knew I had a warrior in me,
Oh.
but I didn't know how to embrace it. And that was the first moment, you know.
That's
me
awesome.
learning that I had something in me.
Yeah.
You know, so fast forward, I ended up transitioning from that. I was 19 years old. I ended up running away at 17 because my family didn't know how to embrace that new man that I was becoming. They didn't understand the young man of me. They understand the boy side of me.
Okay.
But they understand the young man side of me, which,
Transition.
you know, of course, the transitions, you feel me? And it's okay. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know, you grow up and you understand being an adult is not the easiest thing to do. So
I'm still figuring it out.
you have grace and mercy upon them. It's like, yo, I
You
feel
start
you,
to
Mom. I
understand-
feel you,
yeah,
Dad.
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand.
I've
you
called
know?
I've called my mom like plenty of times, like, "Dang, Mom, you know what? You did a great job."
100%,
I'm sorry,
brother.
Mom.
What?
You know, like you gotta
Same
let
here.
them know. You
Same
gotta,
here. You got to give them their flowers,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
because
yeah.
living in this life, and that's why you respect people that been here. You know, people like, oh, respect your elders. Nowadays, people don't respect their elders.
Nah,
I'm
no one
talking
give a
about the
damn
new
no more.
generation.
Yeah.
It's
You know
over
what I'm
with.
saying? Us, we kind of have that still, but it's good for us to maintain that because it's true. Because they've been through this journey called life. Not a lot of people made it along the way.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of people gave up along the way. A lot of people didn't have the privilege to make it this far. So it's like it's an honor to have you here, you know, and for you to share with us. You know, of course, you know, everybody has their problems, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody's open to share,
Mhm.
you know. So, but be grateful for those that are open to share and give you their testimonies and be vulnerable with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
that's what it is. You know, not everybody's open to that. So cherish those moments with the people you meet along the way that are open to do so.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, man. So that's been part of the beautiful journey. I became an MMA fighter, trained for 2 years at Strike Gym. A Strike Gym started opening at Coconut Creek, Florida.
Okay.
So Coconut Creek, Florida, I trained there for 2 years with Strike Gym, and they helped me develop my amateur, you know, develop my foundation.
Okay.
You know, I always was a gifted young man. You know, I always had the protection of the Lord, God's, let's say, and his covering was
grace.
always
His
yes,
grace,
amen. So you
Yeah,
could see
yeah.
the way I move, brothers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It's really, you know,
have that like
you could
spirit
see,
about
you could
yeah.
see it's with love, it's with compassion, and you know that's been the Lord developing that in me. But I was just a young, naive man going into a game full of wolves,
Right.
not knowing that this is a game full of wolves. You know,
Yeah.
like
It's dangerous.
yes, people will use you and abuse you in this game.
Yeah.
You know, and I had to learn that the hard
truth.
way. You know, and the Lord always had His hand on me, but until I grow up and put myself in certain positions, and you end up getting certain results because you decided, right? You
Yeah.
decided you wanted this, and you get desperate, whatever situation, because a fighter's life is not the easiest life out there. Not everybody has their journey, right? You
Mhm.
know, but the fighter's journey is not the easiest, if you will. You
Yeah.
know?
So if you're thinking about doing it, don't do it.
if it's
Long
not,
story short,
if you ain't called to do it, don't do it.
don't start.
You
it,
know, this
yeah.
is not something to do for fun. This is not something you do because you want just people's attention, because you could get hurt along the way.
Yeah,
Serious.
Sean Strick once said it too. He said, "You want to take my advice? Listen here, guys.
All right.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Here's the thing, guys.
If you want to be a fighter, don't fucking do it. Take
There's
my
so
advice.
many things. Yeah,
There's a lot of
It is true. It's true. But if it's your calling, it's your calling. You know,
Right.
because I realize God is rising warriors up in this season. So I understand it. I'm one of them. So
100%.
who am I to say, you know, don't be a warrior? You know, if you're called to do so, do it.
Yeah.
Answer the calling.
Yeah.
You know, but if not, stay away and find your place and find your purpose in life, because everybody has one.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, man.
And then 2 years at the Coral Springs Gym, Striker. What is it called? Strikers.
Strike Gym.
Strike Gym, 2 years, and then did you end up training at American Top Team at one
I
point?
ended up training at American
So
Top
after that,
Team
directly after that?
Yes,
Or, okay.
directly after that, because I had a
Okay.
sponsor, Brother Richie, back in the day. He blessed me. You know, he's like, yo, I see talent in you. These guys are amateurs in a sense. See, that's how he approached me.
Yeah.
He was like, I want you to go train with the good guys, with the pros.
Did you turn pro
So-
after 2 years of amateur?
No, brother. It
Okay.
took me years to become pro. It took me about 6 to 7 year process
Oh,
to
wow.
become pro,
Okay.
brother, because
Okay.
I had a long run as an amateur, because
Mhm.
the Lord had humbled me. I went 7-0. I
Mhm.
fought back to back every month
Oh, wow.
to get a 7-0. I got that within a year.
Yeah.
Mm.
No fighter has done that.
Yeah. 7 fights.
Let me meet him because I haven't seen him.
Yeah, that's active.
You know, but that's the Lord moving through me. You know what I mean? I don't need the recognition of man,
Yeah.
but I recognize what the Lord has done in me.
Okay.
That's my point.
So 7.
You feel me? So I went 7-0.
That's
And
fine.
after that, I lost sight of my vision in the sense, you know, with my young mindset, I was like, I want to be like Anderson Silva.
Mm-hmm.
So in my head, I wanted to go up weight class because I wanted to reach eventually 185.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I'm beating all these guys at 155. Let me fight at 170.
Yeah.
And yeah, it didn't go the same at all.
It's a big gap. That's a big gap, yeah.
Brother, you know, I was walking around 175, young man, you already know, that wasn't even developed.
Yeah.
You know, just a boy.
Yeah.
Young man.
You
You
just
know,
got your muscles.
Yeah,
you
brother,
starting
you
to-
feel
you
me? I
starting
just
to
started
develop.
doing push-ups, bro.
Yeah.
I just started doing push-ups when I was 16. That was my first push-up.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, I was playing video games, playing basketball, but I ended up giving basketball when I came over here because all the African-American, I'm not going to call them African-American, all the American people were beating me.
Yeah.
Because they were better at me in basketball because
Yeah.
they had a different routine and discipline here. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Over there, we just play for fun, you know, and I'll
Here
be
it's serious.
I'll be here over there.
Yeah.
Oh, here is serious. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
People, basketball is like.
Bro, you
it's
go to any
and
basketball
football.
court, they be serious.
Niggas
out
take
there,
it
bro.
serious. They don't play.
Bro, it look like
Them
they
niggas
play
don't play.
overseas.
They be fighting everything. They don't give a fuck.
They be calling out cover. I'm like, I don't know what this shit is, dog. I'm just trying to defend.
Them motherfuckers serious in the courts.
I defend and pass.
Oh man.
I can shoot. Maybe I maybe. I'm short as fuck.
So we transitioned from that, you know.
Okay. So how long did you train at American Top Team for?
American Top Team was about less than a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he paid for half a year and I couldn't
okay.
afford it because American Top Team was always the most expensive.
Were you
gym.
there during like the
Was-
heyday where like everybody and their mama was
Yeah,
there? Okay.
I was there when Hector Lombard was
Okay,
there.
okay.
I was there. You know, I was there at the end of that season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
'Cause I know
saying?
at
And
one
so I
point-
got to experience that. I got to be there when the boxing ring was there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like when Daya was there, when his dad was alive at the time, which I had the blessing to fight for his dad. You know,
wow.
Fight Time Promotion.
Okay.
You know, those were my first 3 wins.
Mm.
Shout out Diane Boca-
You know, shout out
Boca-
to yes
Boca
sir,
boxing.
yes sir. God bless him, man. He's a hell of a coach, hell of a man. You know, and he's been part of my journey as well. So I'm always grateful.
Mhm.
You know, and yeah, I met those people along the way, man. And so we outgrew that stage. I ended up training at CSMMA. And that's where I got serious with
Okay.
Christopher Tobias. I don't know if y'all know
Mm.
about him.
I've
He
heard
Tobias
that
sounds
name.
familiar.
Yeah, it
So,
sounds
he trains
familiar.
at right now Killcliff.
Okay.
You know, he was one of the top amateurs here. You know, submitting everybody because he was
CSMMA.
obsessed with the game too,
Is it
like
still
me.
they
So
still have
once we clicked, it was a whole different.
it still exists?
It's the CSMMA.
Yeah.
No, that was Magnus, Coach Magnus. I don't know if you have
Mm.
Magnus Virgin. No. Okay.
No.
Yeah. He was old school in the game. He's
Okay,
He's
okay.
not around anymore. You don't see him.
So the gym doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Okay.
They're good.
okay,
They're
okay.
done for.
Okay.
You know, that was with Rob. I forgot his last name. But yeah, there were so many people involved in
Mhm.
that. It was Magnus, Rob, and my coach, Coach Mark, which was my Mr. Miyagi, which I
Okay.
found at Strike Gym.
Okay. Okay. So
You know,
kept
so
with
he
the
was
same
with
coaches,
me
yeah.
along the way. You know, he left me for a season when I went to ATT, but that was for
Mhm.
like 6 months, and then we got back together
Okay.
because we had our little disagreements. He felt like I didn't have to go anywhere else to get my training. You know, we
Yeah.
had that little coach trainer
Yeah.
situation. I mean, coach to
Exactly.
student situation. You know,
Like,
but
where you going? Where you going, man?
yeah, you know,
I gotta
but
develop my
I
skills.
wanted to go experience it as
Yeah.
a young man.
You
I'm
need that.
fresh. I'm fresh. You know, I want to go see things. I want to go experience things. You know, so it was my first time being around UFC fighters. You know,
Mhm.
I remember Thiago Silva,
ATT
Thiago
had that
Alves.
appeal, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brother,
Man,
dog.
everybody.
I remember sparring. You know Hector Renta,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He was one of the main guys I used to spar with back in the day. He was
Damn.
one of my guys, man, as a young boy. He was a young boy at 18, 19 years old, both
Mhm.
of us training in a circle with the guy that gives the belts. Who is this guy? All respect to him. Coach Charles McCarthy looks up to him. He's a jiu-jitsu legend.
Laborio.
Yes, he used to
Laborio.
run the class with Ryan and the kid that passed away. He was Jewish, and he got killed.
Recently?
Aaron Rodgman.
I don't know. What that
Aaron
is.
Rodgman.
Rodgman.
I
So
don't
y'all
know
never
him.
heard about
No,
him,
I don't
huh?
think I
He died
Yeah,
recently,
Aaron
or
Rodgman
like-
is one of you would say he founded the MMA here. Like he was
Oh,
one of the
wow.
top guys here.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people looked up to him in Boca Raton area.
Mhm.
You know, he had his connections, but he was one of the amateurs that were collecting belts. He was next to Charles Rosa. Rosa knows about him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He was one of the guys that had that run with Rosa at
Okay.
the young times, at the
Right,
beginning
right.
of it all.
Okay.
So he was the amateur that everybody looked at, with the most experience, and he
that
you know,
guy.
he was undefeated.
He was
You
that
know what I'm
guy.
saying?
He was
Yeah,
that
he was
guy.
that guy.
Okay.
He was that guy
okay.
in the amateur scene back in the
Yeah.
day.
No, that's
So
good.
yeah, man, I got to meet those people, man. It was a blessing. It was a blessing.
So
man.
you think that's where your skills really developed?
No,
In between, no.
Every,
After that.
everywhere God sent me for a season to develop the skills He already given me.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
Amen. I like that.
Hey,
There's no man that has given me anything. They have
Mhm.
helped me sharpen what God has given me.
Okay.
Okay.
But they haven't. Coach Mark was the one that has given me the most.
Okay.
Coach Mark was in my life day in, day out. He was there from the morning to train,
Mhm.
go home, come back in the afternoon.
was he
We'll go
jiu-jitsu?
train together. No, he was straight martial artist. He was MMA coach.
Okay.
MMA. Yeah.
You know, he knew everything. He
Mhm.
knew a little bit of everything, but he was fresh in the game too. You know, he did. You know, because MMA was pretty brand new, so it was. You wouldn't see too many coaches that knew like you see like Asim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Asim is a whole different breed of coaches.
Mhm.
You know, I wouldn't. You see, Sugar Sean coach, Sean O'Malley coach. He's
Tim
a
Welsh,
different
yeah.
breed. You
Yeah.
know, there's different young men that are coaches that are. You could tell they're a different breed than the OGs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, so. Yeah, so he was one of those guys. Technically, my coach was an OG still, but he was like in the middle.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
had
yeah.
a balance of new and a balance of OG.
Okay.
Got you.
You know, so he was the one that helped me develop the game until like 6 years along the road where, you know, just destiny ended up separating us. You know what I
Okay.
mean? He had to go back home to Canada, and I had to stay focused on my career over here, you know? So he couldn't give me the same attention. And that's the time that already God had transitioned me to fight sports.
Mhm.
And that's when I had Jay-Z and I had Daniel Mendez,
Okay.
you know, and I had the crew over there. I grew there for about Yuri Vellafort, you know, he was one of my main guys, you know what I'm saying, as well. Those are the guys that really helped me sharpen my tools, you know, like the ground game. That's when you saw me beating Devin Dixon. I started getting the title, defending my title. That's when I went on my run again. That's
this is
when
still
I rose
amateur?
again. You know what I mean? That
Came
fire
back.
came again. Boom.
Still amateur at this point?
It's still amateur at that
Okay,
point. I got
okay.
4 more. I got 4 more fights. Went undefeated in those 4 fights in
Mhm.
XFN.
Yeah.
Became
Yeah.
the 155 champion.
Okay.
You
And
defended that
You
title.
went back down, right? You went back down to.
You learned your lesson
you
at
went
170?
170. You went back.
Yes, I did. I did that. Yes,
Yeah,
I fought one of those guys. Yes, at 170. But it was a short notice because one of my boys, which is Mikey, he's my brother in Christ, my brother for life. Tell him shout out to brother Mikey.
Yeah. Big
you
Mike?
know,
Talking
no, he's Mikey, a wrestler. He was the 2-time champion actually at XFN. He was the first 2-time champion at XFN for 155 and 170. So he's one of the
Oh,
OGs
like double
too,
champ. Oh, wow.
as well. He's about. You know, he's older right now. He's 35 years old. You
He's
know,
still
he
fighting?
got his career. No,
he's done?
He's
Yeah.
He's, you know what I mean. He got hurt, and of course, when you get older, you want to preserve yourself. You don't
Yeah.
want to hurt yourself.
Mhm.
You know, so that he made the decision, you know, as a man to step away from fighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, but he's still around in Florida. You know, so I see him. And yeah, man. We're going back on track.
Yeah, no. I was just thinking, when did you turn pro? Like, so how after you? So you went
Yes.
7-0, then had a few losses because you went up a weight class.
Few losses, few wins. You know,
Okay,
I
back
end
and forth.
my whole career ended up ending at the end of amateur career was 14-6.
Okay, that's not
good,
horrible.
good.
Yeah.
That's like average, you know, not like
Yeah, well, it's horrible when you start off 7-0.
yeah. But it balanced
You
out.
know what
yeah.
I'm saying? It did balance
But you
out.
ended it on 4. Like you went on a 4-fight win streak. To end your
Yes,
career. Okay,
yes.
that's
That was the fire. That was the momentum I used to go pro.
Yeah. Okay.
You know
no,
what I'm
that's
saying?
Good. That's good.
Yeah. But that time I was sleeping in my car. I had a transition at that time as well.
Okay.
You know, from going to a young man to a man.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
You
Some
know, and that's when
adversity.
I was about 24, going to,
Mm-hmm.
27, 28. I was selling weed, doing my thing, just
Yeah.
living my own, creating my own little fantasy world, I guess, and God snapped me out of that bubble, pulled me out. And I went to jail twice. I got arrested for marijuana, got arrested for acid, and it was like, that was a wake up call to me.
Okay.
The Lord told me, he's like, is this the life you want? Or you
Mhm.
want the life I have called you to live?
Mm.
And I was like, I want the life you called me to live. I don't want this.
Mhm.
I don't want to live this life. I just tasted it, and it almost drove me crazy.
Yeah. I see. Yeah. yeah,
I felt some type of way, like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
no, like, this is not where I belong.
Yeah.
This is not where I
It's
belong.
not the people you need to
Nah,
be around, the
nah.
environment. It's not
So
the path
I
you're
gave
going.
up all that stuff. I gave up the house where I was staying at.
Mhm.
I told my roommates, hey, guys, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. The party's over. I'm ending it this month.
You cut out
Everybody
the toxic
find
people.
it. Yeah, everybody find their place to live. Because I was carrying baggage.
Yeah.
I was trying to create this Jesus team, so-called empire, and while meantime I'm just creating a whole bunch of responsibilities for myself that was not my responsibility.
Right.
So he's like, so that's why I told you I created my own little world where I was growing frustrated. I was losing myself in my sin. Sleeping with women, overindulging in smoking, overindulging in acid, overindulging in so many things that you could see me straying away from my calling.
Okay.
Not that God never strayed away from me, because I always felt his presence and he's always been with me, but he has warned me.
Yeah.
And that was my wake-up call right there. So I turned my back against all that and against living that life. So that's why, I preach. I don't preach. I just tell people my testimony in a sense. That was my experience. You feel me? So I wouldn't dare to step back into there. I wouldn't dare to try to take things into my own hands. So that's when I went pro. I decided I was like,
sorry, this was before you went pro,
This was before I went pro. All this happened as I went pro.
Your amateur career.
Yeah, I was in probation when I won the XFN championship, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Probation officer was pulling.
Yeah,
you ain't going nowhere.
Brother. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
That,
I was sleeping in my car.
Fuck.
Roman Feraldo, shout out to Roman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Only God knows people heart. Charlie Decker, shout out to him too.
Yeah.
They've been part of my journey as well. So, he was the last Charlie was the last person I fought at the amateurs. And during that time, I was going through my roughness, because the Lord told me, excuse me, without the process, I can't get to the promise. So I was learning these things, you know what I mean? And these were the things he was putting in me. And I'm like, okay, so I'm willing to go through the process. So I went through my process.
Yeah.
What's the real? But instead of living good, living all comfortable and people envying me, creating enemies, surrounded by people that are not happy for me.
Right.
That's what I was creating.
Okay.
In all reality. And God had to give me that wake-up call, so that made me realize how many people are really with me. How many people are down for the moment, or how many people are down for the journey.
I see.
Kind
of just cut the toxic people out of your life.
Yes.
And start changing.
Clean me up.
Changing the way you live your life, how you're careful about the people you're around.
Yes.
So that got you back into. So that was the end of your amateur career.
Yes.
And then when you had your first pro fight, everything was clear for you? Like, you got the clear vision?
No, I got a clear vision in the sense that, okay, it's time. I got to give it my all in a sense. But then the love started leaving. I stopped doing it for love. I started doing it because of bitterness, of anger. Okay. And I tried to make that a source of me to train and to make that of me to get where I needed to get. But the door closed on me. I ended up getting hurt twice. I ended up fracturing my foot. I ended up fracturing my rib in those moments, taking short notice fights. All my 3 first pro fights were in short notice. Sleeping in the office. I was still sleeping in the situation. I was in not the same situation, but in a similar situation at Dia Sportplex. You know what I mean? Shout out to brother B. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, brother, but I love you. You've been part of my journey as well. He was the owner at Dia Sportplex at the time. So the Lord touched his heart. He ended up seeing me walk out the gym. He's like, yo, bro, what's up, man? Just wanted to hear about me, what I'm doing. I'm like, well, right now, brother, I'm sleeping in my car and doing all this. And before they repossessed my car, he ended up offering me a spot in the office. Damn. And and that was where that was in the building where Fight Sports was in. Oh. Okay. So I was waking up in the office, going to the gym, just training. He ended up giving me a job there I was on probation. Okay. So I stayed there. COVID ended up hitting. God ended up blessing me with COVID. They took me out of probation early because of COVID.
That's just the one positive.
What? I didn't have to go over there and take no more drug tests.
One positive thing of COVID.
You know what I mean? Like, God blessed me big time, brother. So that season was ending like the amateur life of mine. Not only in the fight scene, but as my life was going. Okay. You know what I mean? I was clearing up the path. The Lord was clearing up the path for me once again. Yeah, man. But I still, from that experience, I was dragging certain things. You know, I was, like I told you, I was bitter. I was angry because I was hurt. You know what I mean? It was just so much along the way, man. You know, your boy got a little traumatized.
Yeah.
You know, they were looking at me like I was crazy. And it's like, no, I'm full of hurt. And y'all don't see that hurt.
Yeah.
Because everybody want to get what they want to get out of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted me to fight. You wanted me
They're
to
trying
do
to
this,
push
I
you into
understand.
fights. Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't even understand where I'm at spiritually or mentally. So I was like, if we're not connecting in that level, why would I give you permission to lead me where I need to go?
Right.
It makes no sense. We're not connecting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I lost the connection with fight sports.
Okay.
That's when I felt I was alone in my last fight. Against Charlie Deck, I went to fight him. What's up? You know, I went to save the show.
Yeah.
2-week notice again.
Yeah.
You know, pay me chump change, just
Yeah.
like they do with all the fighters. Just, you know, I gotta speak real. You know,
Yeah.
they take advantage of the fighters, and it's not cool. I don't like it. But at the end of the day, give Caesars what's due unto Caesars, and give God what's due unto God.
Amen.
You know, at the end of the day. So we
Yeah.
all gotta walk the journey. We all gotta just do what we need to do in order to get where we need to get. So I'm fine with that, and I accepted that. But it still don't. I'm not.
don't make it
I'm
right,
not
yeah.
blind to the
Yeah,
fact
yeah,
of what
yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah,
That's all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. So I fought for Titan Combat Night, and I saved the show twice in Titan fight, and I noticed that they weren't giving me no fair shots.
Yeah.
They never called me, hey, John, you know how you think about fighting in the next 2-3 months? We've set you up with this guy. They never gave me a fair
It's
shot.
short, 2
Nobody.
weeks. Yeah.
Oh shit.
So it's like, okay. So we ended up getting this manager for Fight Sports and whatnot, and I felt like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
He's never come to the gym. He's never presented himself. Why are we making this guy part of the team when he don't even know who we are? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, we're supposed to be a family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna allow anybody. I can't understand that. So with that, I didn't feel peace because you already know that my experience with my other fights already developed trust issues.
Right.
You know,
right.
so I was like, listen, I'm out. I made a decision. I'm gone. And God already ended up opening the doors with me, for me already, naturally, brother. I ended up, I was training clients, a client that I met at the DS Sportplex. Right. Shout out to Brother Ming.
Oh, Ming?
Yeah, Brother
From China?
Ming.
China Ming?
Yeah, from that he's a server. He's a bartender. At the restaurant we used to eat at when we used to train back at the
Other gym?
ACG.
The
At the
small-
first HEG. Yeah.
Yeah, the Japanese spot.
Yes. He was an
Ming.
Asian guy that used to work at night.
You talking about Tim?
Tim too. Tim was one of my clients too as well,
Okay.
Brother Tim. Shout out to Brother Tim. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that man. He's a young man, you know what I mean? I
Okay.
love that kid.
I'm
brother.
thinking about different Ming. It's not
No,
that.
so Brother Ming, he's a
Okay.
bodybuilder right now. He's
Okay.
doing very good, you know.
Okay.
Hey, you're looking good, looking sexy, by the way, brother. You know, you're doing your thing. God bless you, man.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, so I met them. So I ended up meeting Landon.
Oh.
That's when I ended up
Lone wolf.
encountering Landon there. He was eating, I was eating, and we of course seeing each other in the fight scene. So we embraced one another. We're like,
Okay.
hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Good, brother. You know, training here, ACG. I'm like, all right, bro. He's like, where you training at? The conversation ended up coming up. Where you training at? I'm like, well, nowhere right now. I was training just training by myself.
Yeah.
Training with people that I know, you know, let's do some mitt work. Ginseng, shout out to brother Ginseng. That brother's been with me, you know, he just got a flying knee knockout in Combat Club and Combat Night. Yeah, he just about 2 weeks ago. He's in 40s, 43 years old, still
Damn.
doing it. Still doing it, brother.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
so he's one of the soldiers, man. One of the soldiers out there doing his thing, brother. God bless him, and may he continue to lead him in his path. So Ginseng helped me along the way. So I ended up,
You said you met Landon though at the.
I ended up meeting Landon.
Mm-hmm.
So ACG, from there, he invited me to ACG, and that's when I ended up meeting Coach Charles McCarthy.
And
And that's how
all
I
of
ended up.
us.
All
And
of
then
you.
all of us.
Oh, hey,
And
that's interesting.
And
yeah.
that's when y'all came in the
Yeah,
picture.
yeah,
Y'all came
yeah.
in my story, you know?
Okay.
And
Nice.
that's why, you know, we were part of the ACG family for about 2 years,
Yeah,
right?
it was a
2 to
while.
3 years
Mhm.
almost.
Yeah.
It's a journey,
You know,
yeah.
so, you know, shout out to Coach Charles McCarthy, you know, always opened the doors, always showed us love, you know, always had a great community to work with, you know. Of course, every season changes, you know, but at that season, man, yo, that was the best.
Those were the good days, the good old
wow,
days. Yeah,
amazing,
Just training.
brother. I had so much fun.
Yeah.
What?
I got to, get back in the game, with people that felt like family.
Yeah, no,
You
still
know?
have that connection. ACG
We had
still
some
there,
killers, bro.
It was
Yeah,
man, those were
yeah,
the days.
yeah,
Those
yeah.
were the days.
There were so
yes.
many of us training. We had
Yeah.
so many coaches,
So
good
many
coaches.
good coaches, good training partners, a lot of pros, a lot of
100%.
amateurs, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Everybody was
jiu-jitsu.
working together.
Yeah.
All the amateurs, all
It
the pros
legit.
working together.
Yeah.
So it was legit a community that I never experienced before.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
that was an amazing run with ACG. But
Mhm.
on that run with ACG, I didn't end up fighting.
yeah.
It wasn't still my calling to end up fighting.
But I
the
think
God
that's
was.
where you.
I was always wondering, when were you gonna
Yeah,
fight?
I feel you.
Yeah.
But
I think
God was strengthening. God was strengthening me and developing my life outside of the cage.
Yeah,
at the time.
your answer was always that whenever
You already know.
you
Y'all saw me. Y'all
Yeah.
felt the fire in me. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm ready to,
But-
whenever it happens, But there's certain things that are happening in my life that don't align with me stepping in the cage.
If it's not out, if your life's not perfect, but if your life's not like set outside of the cage,
Right.
it ain't gonna be right inside
No,
the cage.
no,
They
no.
have to. A lot of people don't understand
It's
that.
all
They
in
have to-
here, bro.
There has
It's
to
all-
be a balance.
Yes,
But I
sir.
think when at that time period, that's when you were really not coaching, but coaching. You know what I mean? Everyone was learning from you in the gym. You were always, literally every single day. You used to be the first one in the gym, and you're damn near the last one out the gym because you're helping somebody do something. Like someone is doing some technique wrong, you're gonna stop them. Not everyone has that in them. Some people just let it happen, like, whatever, I don't care about that person. But you don't even know them. You're like, hey, man, by the way, this is how you do it. I can tell you're doing it wrong. They give you attitude, like, all right, I'm going to show you why you're doing it wrong. And then, boom, crack them a little bit. Crack the whip on them, and then
That's so
event-
true.
you know
I
what mean?
forgot about that.
Literally. And then people learn so much from you. And I've seen you help people grow their careers, like just through you taking the time out of your day to help somebody. And it goes a long way. I noticed that with me. You help me out all the time. Literally, you be like, hey, bro, this how you doing something? Maybe step this way. Put your hand up here, and then faint a little bit. So I was like, I picked that up, and that's when I think that's how me and you got a lot closer because you would just tell me, I'm like, man, you're the only one. Like you and like a few other people. I'm like, these are the only people that actually like helping me out. Like
I didn't really know that was a rare thing in the MMA
It's
community.
sometimes
You know?
people do. There's
I
like,
think it's because you're a lot better than a
Yeah, a
lot
lot
of
better than
motherfuckers, so
everybody
you're
else,
able
yeah.
to you could I can do that with my students now. I'm like I'll spar them like, hey, keep that hand up, don't keep it up. Boop, what this left hook. See, you know what I'm saying? So I think with me too, you did it with me too. Like a lot of times when we would go, I would do something and you're like, stop doing the same thing or change this up. So yeah, I think that is pretty rare in the fight game. Like most guys are just, especially like elite guys, pro guys, they're really just trying to focus on what they're doing.
Yeah, they're
You
not
know what I'm
trying
saying?
to, they're not worried about everybody else. They're like, I got to get mine. But I understand that too.
Yeah, I understand that.
Some people do like step in, but it's like those guys that don't even know what they're talking about. They'll be like, "Oh, make sure you do this." Like, all right, bro, you just started 2 weeks ago. Like, chill out. It's like one of those.
Some people
like,
use it as a
yeah,
distraction.
that's
yeah.
like
They don't want to.
exactly. Like they don't want to work. They
As
just
a way
like,
to take a break.
yeah, then like, let me. It's like when you tapping somebody out that's a higher belt and they stop you. They're like, hold on. Make sure you get that right. That
You're
happened
about
to
to
me.
get a good move.
Yeah,
on
you're
that.
like-
Wait, stop.
They
You're like,
stop
what?
you.
What you mean? I was about to twist your arm.
Yeah, bro.
No, you're doing this wrong.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. That's one of those people. They don't have no problem, but the real elite high level guys, they really don't. Unless they're coaching the class, they're not really trying to like
No,
help
agreed,
people. You know what I
agreed.
mean? So, and this is even the fact where like class is over with and everyone's stretching. You'll go up to somebody, hey. They're like, you're not done yet. Come here. Let me show you something. And then that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't really do that, and I can just tell that that's where your heart is at. So that's like it's your passion and it's your love, and it's like not a lot of people really have that burning desire to
Yes,
like
sir.
step out of their comfort zone to make someone else better because everyone's very focused on themselves, especially in the fight game. Especially everyone's the
that
most
comes
selfish game there is.
I think that comes from fear. Because there's a thing about us, man. Let's say, right, man, us, women,
Yeah.
women and man,
Yeah.
men. We have this thing of being fearful of other people outgrowing us.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
And
Yeah,
that's a natural feeling. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I've experienced it. We all have experienced it in different areas of our lives. You
Mhm.
know, but some people are. That's their way of being.
Yeah,
Mhm.
You know, and yeah, it's sad but true. But it all comes with love, man. If you don't have love in your heart, you have nothing.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
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 And that's something you give. That's not something you just retain.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where it comes from. Is truly the love of Christ that He has given me that I could give to you, and that's what I I aim for every day, my brother. You know, I'm not perfect, far from that. I get in my moods. Y'all seen me in moods.
Yeah.
Y'all seen me in different seasons of my life. You know, where I was going through hardships in different areas, you know, drinking alcohol, overindulging again on weed, smoking a lot of weed. Y'all see me coming in smoking like a pound of weed. You know, like, yo, that's not
Bag full of weed.
Yeah, it's not that.
Bag
That's not,
sounding like
you
a
know, that's
pound.
not the example I really want to be.
Yeah, you're human though.
You know,
Everywhere
of
else-
course.
Yeah, it's
of
part of the human
course.
experience. Everyone thinks, oh, you got to be this, and then a lot of I think on the social media, no one's gonna take a picture when they're having a bad day. No one's gonna no one's gonna film themselves in the worst vulnerable moment. 90% of the shit you see on Instagram is
It's
like
a good time.
It's good times. It's fabricated. It's some shit.
highlights.
It's highlights. It's all it is.
It's a good time or for clout chasing.
Exactly. Most people are clout chasing these
Right,
days.
right.
That's really what it is. It's like fabricated stuff, and you know, right now the world is just so negative. Everyone is so negative. We love negativity. Everything is just negative, and it's rare that it comes around a guy like you where you. Not even if you're feeling good, you're going to be positive. Even if you're having your worst day ever and internally you can see that you're going through something, you see someone else having a bad day, they might not even be going through something half as bad as you. You're going to go out, let me talk to you for a second, bro. Let me help you out with what's going on. And I'm like, man, you don't see people do that. It's like, man, I'm fucked up. Like, I'm having a fucked up day.
Lord.
And then you see somebody having a bad day and they crying over spilled milk. And you know down there you got something real fucked up in you. You're like, let me go talk to this person. That probably makes you feel better. I'm not sure, but
It does. It gives me because God sets me. You know, I remember. I'm gonna tell you this. I never forget. I was at a bus stop, and this was at the young time that I just recently experienced the Lord. So I was fresh. You know, I was fresh in His love, fresh with seeking more of Jesus, you know, obsessed with who He is, you know, because I never felt the love like that before. So I just wanted to spread it to everybody. I wanted everybody to get to know Jesus. You know, like He's real, like you could truly experience Him, you know. And I realized that not everybody's open to that. You know what I mean? And that was part of my naive fire moment.
When you first get it, right? Yeah.
Yes, when you first get it, everybody has that moment. That's when people have that moment. I'm like, hey, brother, you know, learn how to learn with discernment, learn along the way. Don't allow yourself to be led by emotions or excitement, because in life you got to learn how to keep that balance. You know, it's not about being too excited or being too down. It's about keeping that level so you could be aware.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you get too excited, you're going to miss out on a lot. And if you're too down, you're going to miss out on a lot too.
Yeah.
You know, it's about finding that right balance. And that's what everything in life requires a balance.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
I believe that.
And yeah, man.
You're at a bus stop, you said? You're at a bus stop?
We're at a bus stop. Yes, I'm so sorry.
No, I'm better at this.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good, brother. You're on point. You're on point.
Yeah.
So I was at the bus stop. So this is what the Lord showed me there. That everywhere we are and everywhere He sends me is intentional. It's with a purpose.
Okay.
You know. So I was at the bus stop, and the Lord used me to just brighten somebody's day just by hearing them and communicating with them and had a moment of community with them and get to share the love of Jesus with them. And I saw how that changed. And that was one of my first experiences of like, wow, like Jesus really does like change people. Like he really does bring a light to people. So, you know, I started learning that, and He started showing me, He's like, wherever I send you, son, because I had a car, I had a car, I ended up messing up that situation, got in an accident, had to sell it. So I ended up with the season again without a car. So He's like, son, wherever I send you is with a purpose. Don't ever believe that there's nothing that happens in your life with no purpose. As long as you have life, you have a purpose.
Okay.
Because every breath I give you is with intention.
Amen.
It's not a mistake.
Yeah.
He's not this breath that we have in our lungs. He's not giving us access to it just because. Every time we have a breath in our lungs, He chose to love us again and again and again and again. He already demonstrated that on the cross. So now we get to truly live that, you know, and yeah, man. So that's what helps me when I go into the gyms and helps me stay aware wherever I go and where I go, that there's my brothers and my sisters that are in need. You know, sometimes I could overdo it. Sometimes I could be so caught up in myself and I don't see it, you know, but I am aware of that servanthood. You know, we're there to serve. We're there, you know, for a purpose. We're not just there for ourselves. You know,
No, that's great. That's beautiful. Well,
I gotta say though, I was gonna say, whenever you did tell me that you were going to ATT, like you started going ATT or now it's Wolfpack now. I was really like excited for you because I did realize how the level was like you said, the season was changing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You were there. I was there with you at the end of it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So
you didn't even get to that on the.
we talked about it, and I was like, man, that's good. Good place to go. So how's that going? Been so
amazing,
far, that transition.
amazing, man.
Just to be clear, you're at They don't. It's the name change, right? It's MMA Science.
MMA Science, and I'm
Science,
training.
which was formerly American Top Team Wolfpack.
Yes,
Right?
yes, and
whole rebranding. Yep.
Yeah.
yes,
With
Shout out
Roger
Coach
Crawl.
Roger Crawl, yep.
Coach Roger,
Crawl.
man.
He's an
you know,
OG.
Coach Roger's an OG man in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was coaching, of course, Amanda Nunes. That career was ending.
Before she became champ, he was like
He was coaching her.
And then then once she got that champ, she beat Misha Tate, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when they decided to take her away from him, and then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Like then she went back at the end of her career,
right.
and got that career-ending win.
That was like a
Yes,
Cinderella
sir, yeah.
story.
What?
He
No,
had
for
the
sure,
two
she did
belts
her
there.
thing.
That
She
was
did her
good.
thing, man.
That was
God bless her.
gangster. Yeah.
Excuse me. But yes, for sure, Coach Roger was part of her journey, big time. She could testify on that. That's not my place to testify.
Mm-hmm.
But
for you, it's
Coach
helped you,
Roger,
yeah?
that's how he stepped into my life, which came with the connection of Brother Landon. That's why, God does things and he knows what he's doing.
Okay.
Brother Landon was the one that reached out to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Brother Landon's in the UFC right now.
Yeah,
I'm sure y'all heard he's doing great,
He's doing his
man.
thing.
He just got his 4-fight contract. God
Let's
bless
go.
him.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brother Landon again, man. That's
He
my
got
brother.
Me,
That's
he got
my brother.
me into kickboxing.
Oh,
'Cause I was
really?
just doing boxing. I was just
Okay,
doing boxing,
okay.
and then I saw ACG come. I was going to that gym beforehand with my boxing coach, but he got hurt. So then I was
Right, that's when he had the knee injury.
Yeah, when he that but yeah,
Artist,
No. My
yeah.
boxing coach had got hurt, so he wasn't coming around in the gym. So I was just training by myself basically, and then ACG started going there, and then Landon eventually convinced me to do one of the kickboxing classes, and then yeah,
It changed from there.
Yeah, that's how you came, right? He was in there.
crazy.
JJ was been there boxing. I'm like, who's this
It's good to
motherfucker?
know that. It's good
This
to know
Puerto Rican
how
motherfucker
how
boxing.
it all
How it
connects,
It's
my
just
brother.
cool. It's cool. No, Landon, yeah, he started coaching the MMA because he was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That was the difference. Landon got hurt. His knee was all fucked up, so he
Right.
couldn't train. So all he cares about is fighting. Literally, that's all that man cared about is fighting. So he just was coaching us, and the gym started growing. Everyone just started coming around. Yeah, that's good. So he got you to ATT.
He got me to ATT with
Coach Roger.
Coach Roger and Coach Troy.
Yeah, Troy.
Coach Troy
Troy's
is
leading
another one.
the-
He's in one championship
Yeah.
fight,
he's
but
leading
he's
the MMA.
he's the head of the pack,
Yeah,
technically,
yeah.
if you will.
Yeah,
That's
Troy's
feel
a,
me?
he's,
He's
a,
the
he's
lead
a great
wolf.
coach as
That's
well.
what's up.
You know
That's
what I'm
what's up.
saying? Coach Troy is the OG wolf.
He's a
Yeah.
real good
You know,
fighter.
he's the wise wolf.
Yeah.
You know, so
Lot of
that's the
experience.
team. You know, we got Brother Landon, we got Brother Huang. You know, he owns his gym, Silver Fox BJJ. He's amazing because he loves what he does. You know,
Yeah.
he's a black belt at jiu-jitsu. You know, he does his thing. You know, so he's a great part of the team. So they ended up putting this team together with Daniel Marcos. He just went to the UFC. They invited him as well, so he could have a strong pro training community. You feel
Yeah.
me?
Yep.
Because he was going everywhere.
Yeah, he's
You
going,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So he finally committed to us.
We got a
you know what
squad
I'm
there,
saying?
really. Honestly.
Yeah,
It's
we
a
got some
squad,
good guys.
yeah.
We got some good. Too Solid, Brother Jarrett. He's fighting in about a week or so.
Okay.
You know, Brother Jarrett, Too Solid. He's a beast
Oh
too.
yeah.
I trained with him back in Fight Sports Day.
I was talking to him.
Oh
the other
yeah,
day.
yeah.
We was all chilling. Yeah.
With Brother Bryce. You know, all them young kids that you see them developing in their career.
Mhm.
You know, now I get the privilege to train with them, you know, along in a different season of their lives, you know,
Yep.
where they're pros themselves, you know, I'm pro as well, you know, so we're putting in work together, man, and sharpening the tools, and I feel amazing there. It's like, to me, I feel like I'm home again.
No, that's
You know what I
beautiful,
mean?
yeah.
At Fight Sports, that was my first feeling. That was my
Mhm.
feeling over there at Fight Sports until that season changed.
Mhm.
You know, and I got to relive that moment again with
That's awesome.
the science
Yeah,
team. You know, the
that's
MMA
awesome.
science with the pack team.
And it's worked out for you because now you're on a win now, and your
Yes.
career is going forward.
Yes,
you got
you know.
a lot of opportunity ahead of you, and the best is yet to come.
Amen,
so
amen,
go,
brother.
man.
Jesus' mighty name,
Let's
my
go,
brother. You
let's
said
go.
it, my brother.
Yeah,
You know,
man,
this
that's
is just
good.
the beginning. We just fought like a month and a half ago. We got that spinning back elbow.
Mm-hmm.
They already put us. They are highlighted
We gotta put
us
that.
in
We
one
gotta
of the
put
best
that highlight.
knockouts.
I don't know. That Dean's my boy.
They had.
I can't do
mean,
Dean dirty like
Fuck
that. Dean won't come on the
Fuck it.
He won't come on the podcast if I do that.
man. You know,
shouts out Dean Barry, man. He's a
yeah,
great
shout
fighter.
out to
He's a
Dean
good
Barry,
guy.
you know, but it's nothing personal.
No,
you
of
know,
course
we all
not.
signed
No,
a
man.
contract
He
at the
won the
end
fight
of the
you, you
day.
fought him, it's all
You know what I
good,
mean?
yeah.
Yes, we all had to feed our families.
Yes, exactly.
That's the main thing, you know. And yeah, the best man won.
Yeah, of
Simple,
course, of
simple as that. You know, that's how it goes.
That's
You
how
know,
it
I
goes.
had to
That's
receive
the fight.
losses as well. You know,
Was it supposed to be MMA or was it?
it was straight stand up.
Straight stand up.
We
And
agreed.
That's what you guys agreed.
Yes,
on?
we agreed on a gentleman fight, but he then ended up running into my elbow.
Yeah.
I was throwing a spinning back fist, so he ended up
Yeah.
coming with the 1-2, and the 2 cost him his
Yeah, that shit was.
the spinning elbow.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why y'all saw my reaction after the fight. That
Luck,
I was like,
timing, like,
I was like, I'm so sorry, brother. That broke my heart to see him on the floor like that.
Yeah.
You know, because you can see a grown man on the floor holding his face. That's like, okay, you must have hurt him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't do this, you know, to hurt people at the end of the day, you know, but when it comes down to
That's the game.
it's more of a spiritual battle for me.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna give you what's manifesting in you.
Mhm.
If it's pride, I'm gonna take out pride. If it's anger, I'm gonna take out anger.
Mhm.
If it's deceit, I'm gonna take out deceit. You know, whatever it is, whatever spirit manifests, everybody has different spirits manifesting. Ego, pride, you know, all these things manifest in the
You're gonna
cage. You know
expose it,
why?
yeah.
It's a spiritual thing to get in there, guys. I can't really explain it.
Unless
I'm
you've
sorry,
done it,
I'm
yeah.
not the spiritual doctor to break it down to you to that level, but there's something spiritual about two men going in a cage and about to bang it out.
Yeah,
It's
no.
primal, bro. It's like
if you unless you've done it, you don't understand. It's people that watch you just on the weekends. It's some real
It's some warrior,
some
oh,
gladiator,
like, yeah,
Roman Empire shit. Like you're just in
we,
there.
it's
like,
I don't really
it's
have
like,
words
you-
to describe it.
I got a good one. It's like, have you ever just bumped into that guy in school and they were like, at 3:00 after school, we're gonna fight, and then all day in school everybody's talking about it. So then at the end, you're all walking, you're walking towards the back, and everybody's there looking. They're like all waiting, and you're like, all right, that's what that feeling's like, you know, like you're about to go to war, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't been in a fight in school and after school, you know, then you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't understand.
You wouldn't understand.
man. So, it's a pleasure having you, brother. We had to wrap it up, unfortunately.
Thank
but
you, man.
No, man, I appreciate you coming out. I appreciate you taking your time out, man. I think a lot of people can learn from this story, and I want you to bring you here again, man. But
100%.
I really appreciate. This is fun. This is awesome,
No,
man.
it was a
You
blessing
don't
to
really
be
get this side of you too often, like when you really sit down. I mean, you do it when people talk to you, of course, but like
Yes, sir. Yes,
the
sir.
people that don't talk to you every day, obviously. they're
In
not-
passing, like you
in
look
passing, it's like, hey, hi,
somebody
bye,
scary.
what's up? Yeah,
You
yeah.
look like you would. Like,
Yeah, you do look like a
you look like
scary-
I look scary.
You look like
Kinda.
I would
I'm the
definitely.
least scariest
Not
fighter
scary.
out there, I
No,
believe.
no, no.
Not
When you
scary,
talk, when
but
you
like-
talk to you, like when I talk
After-
to you,
yeah.
you're cool. But I'm saying, like, if I'm walking by a dark alley and I see you behind me, bro, I'm gonna start
You're not
walking.
going-
I'm
You
gonna
kinda
start
look-
walking faster, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start walking faster.
That's hilarious.
It's kind of fucked up to say, but you kind of look like a nigga in a bad way. You know what I mean? But when you talk to somebody, then you're like,
it's the beard.
it's the beard. It's the beard. Like a Tyrone type
Maybe
of
the
motherfucker,
cauliflower
like, if
too. I'd be like,
If you had a
I don't
do-rag
know.
on and like a
Not
chain
one
or
of-
something.
Not
like,
one of my ears bigger than the other. Dog.
Yeah,
That's how
bro.
I felt in a picture. The other. I'm like, I look like a straight goblin, bro. What?
No, but you're
Oh,
you're
man. You have a fight coming up or anything?
yeah. You got
And-
anything coming up?
Right at this moment, no. What we were supposed to have a bare knuckle fight with Game Bread, you know, but that didn't end up falling in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So we're just waiting on to what God has in store. You feel
Okay.
me? Fighting Force may be the next opportunity in Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Maybe
Go home
whatever
for
the
that
case
one,
may
yeah.
be. You know what I mean?
Go
But
take
I
their
know I have a
belts.
calling back home. You know, shout out to Timor Dan. You know, I went over there for a trip. They ended up opening the doors to me. Ended up meeting the promoter over there. So I know God is about to open the door, and the new season is coming.
Okay.
For when, how, I don't know.
Mhm.
But you
It'll
know, the
happen
best
soon.
is yet to come, and we continue walking in faith and not by sight.
Let's go. And
In
you're
Jesus'
training.
name.
You train every day, so you're staying ready.
Yes, sir. We
Anything
stay
happens,
ready.
You're ready. Let's
Amen.
go.
Amen. Yes, sir.
All right. Let's put his Instagram up there, and
Yeah.
then all right, guys. Thank you for watching this episode. We'll be back soon with another one. Till next time.
God bless y'all.
God bless.
Yes, sir.
Thank you to our new sponsors, Flow State Coffee. Flow State Coffee is a performance coffee with ingredients that give you a deeper focus, better mood, and it lowers caffeine-related anxiety so you don't get any jitters or shake. It's coffee made to get shit done.
Be sure to use discount code DEFY, DEFY at checkout for 10% off all sales.